Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Good, thanks.
And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
No worries. Fire away, as they say.
Sorry, Jonathan?
Fire away, as they say.
Okay.
Okay.
And hi, friends. We have one of the renowned hypnotherapists here, Jonathan, and let us know more about him. So, Jonathan, how did you get into hypnosis?
Yeah, interesting question. And no particularly easy answer, so I'll just have to kind of start at the beginning. I was born in August 1975, which makes me 46 now. And at the age of 3, so that was in late 1978, I should add, I was born whilst my parents were travelling with Gandhi's circus here in England. So at the age of 3, I made my performance debut as Britain's youngest professional paid circus clown, and grew up in the circus performing. And that is until I was around 8 years of age. And my mum, who actually came from a non-circus background, wanted me to go to a normal school rather than traveling from town to town to town. And so she insisted that we got a house and I went to a normal school. And then I only went with the circus, as it were, at weekends and school holidays and free time, as it were, which I did. Unfortunately, I was immediately perceived as the odd one out because I was this person who'd been in the newspapers as a circus clown. And so I got bullied, and school life was somewhat miserable. And despite the fact that we ended up moving to another town and I went to another school, we thought that would avoid things, but no, I still got bullied. In fact, it got worse over the years. And I personally became very, very depressed, and there was a lot of anger built up towards my dad, because my logic was that I was getting bullied because I've been a circus clown, but I've been a circus clown because my dad was, and I was born on the circus, so it must be his fault indirectly. That was the child's logic or illogic, whichever way you want to look at it. But by this point, I developed, because an audience would clap at the right times or laugh at the right times, I developed a kind of, you could, I suppose, could argue an addiction to that attention. Some may say love from an audience. And so I still craved that feeling of acceptance, you may say, of appreciation, of love. And so I still wanted to perform because that was the outlet through which I got those feelings. But by the same token, there was this conflict of, yes, but it's that's caused you to be bullied and caused the depression and the bad feelings and stuff. So there was this confusion and conflict, which kind of, I say kind of, got remedied to a degree by my logic was, I'll stop being a circus clown and then that'll stop it'll stop the bullying. So over the years, I'd learned as a hobby, as a performance profession, I got paid as a circus clown, but I used money that I earned to buy magic tricks, conjuring tricks, sleight of hand, things like that. And I learned those. So by the time I was kind of 9, I was very adept and skillful at magic, and I could perform several different kind of magic acts. So what I did was I refused to perform any further as a clown, and started advertising myself as a magician. So I'd get performances, still get the applause where it was relevant, laughter or shock and amazement, depending on what the expected emotional response was. but because I kind of created that and it was an audience reaction, that gave me that feeling of appreciation and love and acceptance and the things that I saw, whilst at the same time in my head, I wasn't a clown anymore. So, hey, I was taking control of the situation. However, unfortunately, it didn't stop the bullying because I was still getting in the newspapers and then getting on the radio and TV, and kids can be jealous. And, there's this nonsense that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, which is complete nonsense because, verbal attacks can actually have a far deeper and longer lasting negative effect. So rather much as Sigmund Freud, as I nickname him, or Sigmund Freud, as most people would know him, once coined the phrase, I believe, that a therapist, or all therapists, are merely people searching for answers to their own problems. And certainly at that young age I was, and the answers lay, of the start of the path, the journey to the answers, lay in the library. And by this time, I'd already, with the help of my mum, was a member of the adult library, even though I was only kind of 9 or 10. But I'd surpassed all the magic books they had. It was kids' magic books. They were too simple. I was already onto the adult standard. And where those books were, the magic books conjuring section in the adult library, to the right of them, literally to the right-hand side, was the self-help and psychology section. And I saw the spine of one of the books one day, and the words on the spine, the name of the book, were How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I saw this and I thought, oh, how to win friends and influence people. Read that, learn how to win friends and influence people. Sounds like that should be able to, influence the bullies and stop them bullying me, kind of thing. So I got the book, read it, tried out some of the things, and if anything, it made matters worse. Not because the contents of the book don't work, but because they don't work with children. I was only sort of 10 at the time. And it's just, that's the short version. They just don't work with children. I found out in later years, they don't work with adults either if you take it too literally. One of the things in that book is that a person's name is to them the sweetest word in the world, and that you should use it regularly. Well, I can tell you from personal experience that if you go into a licensed premises, a pub, for example, meet somebody you've never met before, and then every sentence put their name in it, it becomes incredibly annoying, and it's more likely to really aggravate them than ingratiate them to you. So, things have to be used in moderation. Anyway, it was the start of the journey into the self-help section. And another time I came across a book, its exact title I forget, I just remember that the author's name was Emile, Emile, Coue, who coined the phrase, day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. The godfather of positive affirmations. Some may say the godfather of self-hypnosis, positive mental programming, call it what you will, making affirmations, stating them in a manner as though it's already happened and is continuing to happen in a positive manner, rather than stating things in a manner where it implies that they haven't happened yet and that there might be some kind of obstacle or difficulty along the way that you've got to overcome to make it happen. No, they were always phrased as though it's already happened and it's continuing to happen. Hence, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Well, I'm getting better and better implies that you're already better than you were yesterday. So it's a subtle difference, but a difference that does make the ultimate difference in the way the unconscious, subconscious mind reacts to it. So I read this book and started using positive affirmations, and it helped me to feel better and control the way that I felt. But I also learned a technique, another MLQA thing called the law of reversed effort. Known in the NLP world, neuro-linguistic programming, as what resists persists. Sometimes people throw around the phrase energy goes where attention flows. Anyway, the example that was given is that the word try, used correctly, is itself a powerful suggestion that you will not be able to do something. So as a hypnotist, I might get somebody to place their hands together, and after a few minutes of giving suggestions of the hands gluing, locking, welding, cementing together, suddenly say to them, okay, now try to separate your hands. And the more you try to separate your hands, the more they stick, lock, glue, weld, cement together. And that word try can be processed by their brain as, he's saying try because I won't be able to. And if their mind wraps around that idea, then they're suggesting to themselves they will not be able to, and that compounds the physiological tricks that are also being used, because there's tricks that are guaranteed to work that we also use. Anyway, I read this and I thought, you know what? Next time a bully at school tries to hit me, rather than please don't, I'm just going to say to them, go on, try. And I did. And I went, go on then, try what you're waiting for, because they normally give me a load of verbal nonsense and then hit me or whatever and walk up. Well, when they started the verbal nonsense, I said, what are you messing around for, waiting with all this verbal nonsense? If you can hit me, do it, try, go on, you nutter, go on, do it. And because I thought I had nothing to lose, I normally got hit, but a sudden kind of glazed look came over their eyes, like, what is this idiot? What is this nutter doing? And I suppose it's what they would call in NLP or hypnosis, there was an element of a pattern interrupting there, because the normal pattern of events they expected to occur suddenly didn't. It interrupted their normal pattern. So it suddenly put them into that weird fight, flight, freeze or shite state where they were trying to work out the confusion of what was going on. And because they'd always been in the superior position, the brain looks for the quickest way of coming out of this best. And their result was to suddenly go, push me back towards the wall, but let go of me, and suddenly go, you're an idiot, stay away from me, don't come near me. Giving the impression to the on watching onlookers that normally were laughing their head off, but were just looking, wondering what the heck was going on, that they were somehow still in control. But off they walked, didn't end up hitting me that day, and in fact never hit me again. I'm not saying that bullying stopped completely, because there were other people that would say things verbally and stuff, but things took a dramatic improvement. And this made me think, oh, there's something in this. And it was around that time, which I was, by this point, because I've lumped together several years, because we haven't got all day, obviously. We fast forward, and by this point, I would have been about 13 and a bit. And I saw a publication in England in a newsagent's called W.H. Smith's, a publication that was called, well, it still is, called Exchange and Mart. It's a magazine where you could buy and sell pretty much anything. And there was a section with blue pages in there. The blue pages you knew were the business opportunities. And I used to look at this regularly, because sometimes magic shops would advertise their new catalogues and stuff in there, and I'd order them. But one day I saw an advert in there and it said, become a professional hypnotherapist and stage hypnotist. Fascinate, amaze people and change their lives whilst earning money. Send stamped addressed envelope for full prospectus. And I thought, oh, I'd been reading stuff about these kind of things at the library, but this is a professional. So I sent a stamped addressed envelope to find out more. And this was in early 1989. I was still 13 and a half, roughly, when I sent off for it. And it came back to me, and ultimately they wanted £125 United Kingdom sterling. But remember, this was back in early 1989, so that was a lot more money then. Now, I had this level of money, even though I was only because I'd earned it off doing my magic shows and stuff. So I basically immediately sent £125 United Kingdom sterling off, and I received back a training manual and some audio tapes. Mm-hmm. And I studied these. And then I took the exam that had been sent, and I sent it off for marking. Oh, I lied about my age on the application form. I said that I was 18 on the application form. And I was banking on the fact that because it was being done correspondence through the post, distance learning, that they would never find out my age, and there was no internet at the time. That was my hope. Okay. So didn't quite go to plan, but that was my hope. I sent it off, and a number of weeks later, by which point I had turned, because up with a period of study, I'd got to the point I'd had my 14th birthday. So I was now 14 years of age. We're in 1989 and I'm 14. So it would have just been towards the end of August 1979. Through the post comes an envelope, which I open, and lo and behold, it's a letter confirming that I passed the exam, and enclosed was my certification as a professional hypnotherapist. But they thought I was 18. They thought I was 18, but yeah, I was only 14. And that I was now a member of the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Parapsychologists, the APHP. And I thought, right, what do I do? Do I risk getting caught out down the line, or? And I started feeling guilty about lying about my age. So I wrote to them, and I said, "Look, the head was Dr. Brian Howard." I said, "Dr. Howard, I lied about my age. I turned 14 in August. I don't know what to say except I'm sorry. I did not believe that if I told you my age that you would have let me take the exam, let alone take the course." And there was a few weeks delay, and then I got a response, and he effectively told me off for lying. Effectively said how disappointed on the one hand he was that I'd felt the need for deception, and it was all seemed very downhill and negative. And then suddenly it went, however, this does not negate the fact that you passed the exam. Not only did you pass the exam, you passed with exceptionally high marks, as in, I can't remember exactly, but it was either 91 or 92%. Which now that your age is known, is even more exceptional type of thing. And my only choice, well, obviously he did have the choice to revoke everything, but he said, "I feel that my only choice, given that you passed and so exceptionally, is to issue you a new certificate and membership credentials enclosed with your correct age on." And so at the age of 14, I became the youngest ever member of the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Parapsychologists. Now, I never lied again to Dr. Brian Howard, but I did a little white lie for the positive intent of my future patients in order to help trigger the placebo effect off and the natural mind-body healing connection. I did lie about my age because I figured that I look young anyway, and if I compounded that perception of being young by saying I was just 14, that would not really set the correct psychological playground for the placebo effect to be triggered off, for the mind-body healing connection to be triggered through what we call the ritual of hypnosis. And so I told my local newspaper the certificate I showed them was not the new one I'd been given, showing my correct age, but was the one that confirmed I was 18. Okay. I know, a little bit naughty, but I went to them and said, look, I'm 18 and I've just passed this, and I want to offer discount sessions to people in the area to help them. And they did an article with a photo of me on holding this diploma. And because it had been in the local paper, despite the fact I looked young, in those days, people believed what they read in the paper, especially in their local, trusted local newspaper. So it embedded that belief that I was 18 and overcame the negativity of me looking so young, so that when people did book a session, that disconnect of me looking incredibly young was overcome by the fact that they'd been told by the newspaper I was 18 and the certificate said I wasn't, I was 14. But I started treating people, charging money, and I was very successful very rapidly. When that article went in and I was still 14, the local radio station saw the article and invited me on, and they set me a challenge to stop somebody smoking, one of their listeners, which I did. I did a smoking cessation session on one of their randomly chosen listeners, and then they followed it up like a month later, and the person still was a confident, happy, healthy, relaxed non-smoker with the stuff I'd learned from this correspondence course. And that is the answer as to how I learned initially, because I never stopped learning. I learn every day from every client. I learn from every stage hypnosis show I do. I learn from every student I teach. And then those things that I learn and improve upon and expand upon and refine, I will then feed back into my elite hypnosis bootcamp so my students can grow as well. But I kind of think, to finish off the answer to that question nicely, a few years later, so when I was about 18, 85, 90. Yeah, about 18, give or take a few months either side. I got permission from Dr. Brian Howard to start using his course materials to teach the students that I, by that point, started teaching. And a number of years later, I ultimately, a bit like Victor Khayyam, the electric razor guy in America, who was so impressed by the blade or the shaver that he bought the company. A number of years later, I took over the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Parapsychologists and renamed it the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Psychotherapists. So it didn't have that kind of parapsychology link, but ultimately was still teaching at its grassroots the techniques that Dr. Brian Howard taught me, but with a lot more stuff besides on top that I'd learned by that point and continue to learn and develop as well. So sorry for the slightly long answer, but as you can appreciate, it was
yes, that slightly was amazing. Like, at the age of 14, you started and then ended up becoming a trainer by the early age of 18. That was amazing.
It's bizarre. Really, I shouldn't, at the age of 18, it wasn't really about the age. More to the point, after only for 4 to 5 years, having treated clients in the real world, and for about 4 years of that done stage hypnosis shows, although I did an exceptional amount of stage hypnosis shows in my teens, because I was working often between 7 to 14 shows a week. When it was the in thing in the early 90s. It's nothing like that now in England, but it was then. And I was seeing dozens of therapy clients a week, but still, nonetheless, after 4 or 5 years, I frankly should not have been teaching people. Because I am very much now, I call out the vast majority of hypnotherapy trainers out there have never achieved anything of real worth in the real world. And sadly, the vast majority of hypnotherapy and NLP trainers out there, they knew nothing. Then they went on a course, maybe a practitioner course. Then they went on a master practitioner. Then they paid to go on another course that's a trainer. And then when they realized the clients, because they've not been taught enough, if anything, about marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion, which are the real keys to running a business, and arguably are more important than the so-called hypnotic techniques. And arguably, the marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion done correctly is the hypnosis and helps hypnotize the client into a belief state that it's going to work for them before they even step through your office door. But because they can't make enough money to give up their normal job, most hypnotherapists are part-time or struggling by. And to make extra income, they start running courses. And yet they've not successfully made themselves a profit-rich hypnotherapy business. So what right or place have they really got to be teaching other people? Now, all right, by the sort of age of 19, after 4 or 5 years of having done it, I did have a profit-rich hypnosis business, both on the therapy side and the stage hypnosis side. But I was an anomaly. I was an exception to the rule. The only reason that this occurred was because I had a background, or I had experience of observing and learning from and studying marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion in the course of promoting my magic shows that I'd done for years. And prior to that, having been brought up in the circus, which is reminiscent of Phidias T. Barnum, of the Greatest Showman fame, you know, who allegedly said there's a sucker born every minute. He didn't. He never said that. He got attributed with saying that. If anything, he's more likely to have said what Joe Vitale, the marketing expert, called one of his books, that there's a customer born every minute. And there is. Over the years that followed, I perfected hypnotherapy techniques that I developed of my own and adapted, because there's nothing new under the sun. If you do enough research and study, you know, all these newfangled fancy techniques with fancy names and protocols, and you can do this latest diploma course in this, that, the other, and spend thousands. None of it's new except the name and the certificate and the fancy logo you might get permission to use, which in themselves can sometimes be worth money. They can be worth a fortune. If it's a really good name, it's got a catchy marketing angle. Yeah. If it's got a really great logo that visually captures a potential client's attention and makes them think, wow, this is going to be powerful and will work for me, and thus help set off the mind-body healing connection and the placebo effect, then it can be worth money to get permission to use that logo and have that placebo certificate on the wall that people see and think, wow, the person's an expert, they know what they're doing, so that they come to believe in you. But there comes a point where too many people become course junkies, where they get to feel good because they passed another course, and they think that one day they'll pass the course that's going to be the difference that makes the difference, that means that they're going to make this a profit-rich business that can give them the income and lifestyle that they, you know, may have only dreamed of. And the truth is that's unlikely to ever happen with any course, unless it's a course in marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion, how to run a business, how to get clients, how to build your reputation and attract those people in, which is what I focus on heavily, as well as the techniques. But more important is putting yourself, marketing, advertising, publicity and promotion, MAPP, putting yourself on the map, making yourself known, creating a situation where people hear about you and come to you and seek you out. So that because they're seeking you out and they're not just looking for a hypnotherapist or a mind therapist, they're looking for, in my case, Jonathan Royle, the British bad boy of hypnosis. The people that come to me, if they're bothered by the controversy that I've had over the years, that I've often purposely courted or artificially created through publicity to make myself stand out from the crowd, if they're put off by it, or they were scared by it, or nervous by it, they wouldn't email or ring me to book an appointment.
Okay.
Okay, and the fact is, you cannot please all of the people all of the time.
Yes. Yes.
You can please some of the people all of the time, all of the people some of the time, but you never please all of the people all of the time, and neither should you, because then you become a jack of all trades. You become one of those hypnotherapists, mind therapists, call yourself what you want, that is a jack of all trades, and that's one of those websites or advertising leaflets that says, I can help my clients with asthma, bulimia, confidence, dieting, and they've got like at least one or two, sometimes dozens of examples for every letter of the alphabet from A through to Z. And it's like, can you really do all that? Well, there's two answers to that. Yes, you potentially can using hypnosis techniques. And the techniques I teach my students, they could do all of those things quite competently and confidently. But does somebody who says they can do all that really come across as truly credible compared to perhaps, say, somebody who wants to, let's say, stop smoking?
Mm-hmm.
They see somebody who says they can do all these things, but then they see the, let's say, make a domain up. I don't know if it's real, but I'll just make a website domain up like becomesmokefree.com. I'm sure somebody will have that website. Okay. But they see that, and they see that all it advertises is that you are the country or the area's leading expert in smoking cessation, that you have helped thousands of people over the years to quit smoking with the greatest of ease, so that they can be a confident, happy, healthy, relaxed non-smoker. So those cravings are left behind in the past that they may have had previously when they tried to stop for themselves, so that when they come to you and book a session, something they once thought may have proved difficult to achieve becomes so ridiculously easy with these cutting-edge techniques that you've developed over these sessions. And then they see videos from past clients saying how wonderful you are. The jack of all trades over here who says they can do smoking charges like £100 maybe, United Kingdom pounds. Your smoking cessation specialist over here says that there's a waiting list for their services and that it's 500 United Kingdom pounds. Which of those two seems to be the one who's better at the job of stopping people smoking? The one who can charge £500 a time. The one that all they do day in, day out is stop people smoking. There's so many elements that are as important, arguably more important than actually just the hypnotizing and bit and reprogramming the mind. Because arguably when your pre-session marketing, advertising, publicity and promotion is done correctly, and you charge a high enough, you owe it to your clients to charge a sizable above average fee. You owe it to yourself but also your client. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If you're one of those hypnotherapists struggling by who charges just the normal market rate, then you're going to be sat there potentially while you're treating a client, and your unconscious, subconscious mind could be worrying about the fact that, you know what, I hope I get some more clients this month so that I have enough money at the end of the month to pay the mortgage, to get the car repaired, or other worries and stresses of everyday life. And if your unconscious, subconscious mind is running these programs, causing you underlying anxiety and stress and discomfort and potentially dis-ease, a lack of ease, then you could be having a negative effect on your own mental and physiological and physical health in the long term. But also, can you truly say you're giving 100% to your client in that moment? I don't believe you can.
Yeah.
I believe that some of your potential, I don't want this to sound winky wanky arty farty because I'm totally against all that new age tree hugging crap, but if your unconscious subconscious mind is somehow preoccupied with worries like that, thinking that there could be more month left at the end of your money than there is money left at the end of the month, unless you get more clients, then you can't fully, your positive energy, your positive intent to help your client can't fully be focused in the right direction. Whereas if you're charging more, so that A, you don't need as many clients, and B, with only a small number of clients, you're actually automatically earning way more than most hypnotherapists are, then you can very quickly have a situation where you've got more money left at the end of the month than there is month left at the end of the money, where you can also, if you study something like the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp that I put together, also have in place a number of passive income streams. So you can use your hypnosis skills to create self-help audio recordings, self-help books, and other things that can be sold on autopilot on the internet 24 hours a day, each day of the year, even while you're asleep. So you can go to bed, wake up in the morning, and once it's set up and running properly, you can actually wake up and have earned more money while you've been asleep than most of your so-called competition, fellow hypnotherapists, will earn in the next 24 hours, the next week. And that gives you then a freedom and an ability to relax. It's better for your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. But also it means that you can be there truly in the moment with your client, purely focused, with positive intent to transmit to them that belief, confidence, and conviction that you know in every nerve, fiber, tissue, and muscle in your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, that what you do works for your clients when they truly believe that it will work for them, when they expect it to work for them, when they are truly ready for change. Which, because of the way you will have used your marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion as a bootcamp student, you will have only attracted people who are at that tipping point, who are definitely ready for change. You won't be attracting the people who want to come along just so they can shut up their wife or their husband or another loved one and go, well, I tried it, I went to see a therapist. No, you'll just be getting the people who are truly ready for change, the people who are truly ready to leave behind all that self-blame, shame, guilt and regret that they built up over days, weeks, months, maybe even years, for not having got off their backside and done it for themselves sooner. And yes, I am saying that they were always fully capable of making the changes for themselves, because there's nothing we do as hypnotherapists or mind therapists that's miraculous. It can seem miraculous sometimes, but the truth is there's nothing that we help facilitate for people that they couldn't have done for themselves if only they believed in themselves. And also if only they could find a way to let go of that self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret that they've secretly built up. Because if they woke up one morning, excuse me, just get this into my ear better. If they woke up one morning and suddenly decided, let's say, they used to be scared of spiders, and every time they saw a spider, what would happen is the spider was the trigger, the activating agent, And the brain will try and pattern match and go through the filing cabinet of the subconscious, unconscious mind, find an image of spider and see that their normal reaction, their normal emotion, that's the letter E, activating agent trigger is A, pattern match, P, emotion created, one of fear, false evidence against reality, or false evidence appearing real, or fuck everything, excuse the language, fuck everything and run. And that emotion causes a reaction, a thought, which is the letter T, which makes APET, A-P-E-T, which is the human given's idea of APET, which reminds me that the human mind is often like an ape, A-P-E, that we have to tame, which is the letter T, A-T, or that it's our unconscious, subconscious mind is a bit like the letter A, and then P-E-T, a pet that needs to be house trained like a puppy. And using the important seeming ritualistic processes that can be called hypnotherapy, NLP, Tibetan mind control, or a whole bunch of other things. I've got loads of names and approaches myself, but they're mainly marketing things, because the techniques themselves are ultimately to fixate the client's attention, get them into apparent hypnosis, or it can even be an eyes open trance state, a fixation on one thing to the exclusion of all others, the exclusion of the possibility of it not working. So the only option they're left with is they believe and expect it to work, and creating a safe, healing environment where they feel that they can let go of all that self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret. Because here's the key. I call it the Royle's hierarchy of human needs. There's Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, the idea you need food, shelter, and all that. This is Royle's hierarchy of human needs. It's my belief and experience, and my experience now of over 32 years of doing therapy, and I'm 46 and a bit, that all human beings need, I'm not saying that they want or they consciously realize this, but they need to feel, some people want to as well, but needs more important, to feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued. Now, those 7 things all sound very similar and sound like it's about belonging, being wanted. A lot of it is about that, but in actual fact, if you get a dictionary and look up these words, loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued, they're all ever so slightly different as well. Some apply to self-confidence, some apply to self-image, some apply to self-esteem, and some apply to self-control, aka willpower. So if there is any imbalance in the level that somebody feels loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued, then it will have a knock-on effect on their levels of self-confidence, or self-image, or self-esteem, or self-control, or a combination thereof. There could be different levels in all of them. And if there's an imbalance in any of them, it will have a knock-on effect to their levels of self-respect, self-worth, self-love, and selfishness of a positive nature. And by that, I give the scenario of being on a plane, there being an emergency. They will tell you that if you've got kids, put your oxygen mask on first, which at first thought sounds selfish. But it's actually, you've got to help yourself first before you can help other people. You've got to be selfish to be selfless. You put on the oxygen mask, you will not pass out. Then you can spend time putting on all your children's oxygen masks. If you put on one of your children's oxygen masks first, you might pass out, and then your other 2 kids don't get an oxygen mask. Sometimes you've got to be selfish to be selfless. And if there's been any imbalance in any of them, then that will make the person feel in some respect lacking, that there's some sort of hole, something missing within. They don't feel like a full whole person, or they feel trapped, or they feel negative, and it will cause a whole bunch of negative things. What we do, and they'll also start building up to some degree levels of self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret, because they start to self-blame themselves on some level, even if consciously they know it's through other people bullying them or giving them negativity or negative experiences they had in the formative years from birth. Sigmund Freud said up to about 7, and so did Carl Gustav Jung. I personally say it's probably from birth till around puberty, teenage years, the formative years, where our personal laptop computers get programmed more often negatively than we'd imagine, and we're running those negative programs from the rest of our lives. And the keys are, one of them is to do inner child work and go in and basically reassure the inner child that went through that traumatic or negative experience. And I don't mean by trauma, I don't mean sexual abuse or being physically beaten up. It can be something as simple as a teacher saying you're not good enough. Yeah. But as a child experiencing it and it getting frozen in time, the effect that can have in later years, and as an adult, it's still running a child's program. It's no longer appropriate for us, but yet we're still reacting like a child. And we can go in and reprogram those things, our personal laptop computers, so the child grows up and feels better and heals, so that then we can react as the adult without that conflict. Because when the conflict's there, when the imagination is the unconscious, subconscious mind. And Emile Coué also correctly said, when the imagination that doesn't know the difference between reality and what's imagined, when the imagination and the conscious will are in conflict, the imagination will always win. So if you're running negative programs here, they're always going to win, whatever conscious effort you put in. So you need to get in there with hypnosis, bypass the critical faculty, analytical area of the brain with a psychological distraction. Some call it a hypnotic induction process. It can just be a fixation on tapping the certain points on the body. It's just something that occupies the conscious mind to distract it so that you can get in and be guided to reprogram in a positive way and also heal that inner child. So that ultimately, the key to what we do as therapists, or should be the key, and certainly with the successful students I've taught around the world, the real key is to help that client. Well, there's 2 things. One of them is to help that client offload all the self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret that they walk into our consulting room with. I'll go back to that in a minute. And the other is to have them leaving that consulting room so that they feel, and feelings are purely imaginary. They don't have to have any basis in reality. So this person could be a loner in life by self-choice, but it is still possible for them to end up feeling positive feelings, even if there's nobody around them, because it's just a psychologically manufactured thing. So our aim is to reverse everything and make it positive, so that they end up leaving our office feeling loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued. So that when they feel those things, it boom balances out their self-confidence, their self-image, their self-esteem, and their self-control. That then boom balances out their self-respect, their self-worth, their self-love, and their positive selfishness, which boom helps fill that gap that they felt before and make them feel whole and worthy and free and full of potential. And that is what our job is as therapists, whatever important seeming ritualistic process it is that we use to get that. And one of the big things that we also give people is permission to change, an excuse to change, and a safe environment to do that in. And what I mean by that is, if imaginary client John woke up one morning and said, sorry, I was on about spider phobics before, and then I went off on one. So let's say it's the spider person. They wake up one morning and they think for a moment, I don't want to see a spider. And I'm on about, a lot of this may happen unconsciously. I don't want to see a spider, pattern match it, see previous examples of me having been scared, creating the emotion of fear, and then the thought of get away from the spider, be scared, get something. I don't want to do that anymore. In fact, you know what? I won't, because I do know consciously that it's not going to kill me, and all the evidence out there that people have said to them over the years. You know what? I just won't be scared of it anymore. Or I might be scared, but I'll be less scared than last time, because the biggest, worst part of the fear was the fact that I thought, you know what, I was scared before, so I've got to be scared again. And it's like a rehearsal. Each time you do it more. We need to break that cycle. And they would be fully capable of doing that. And, you know, the next time they saw a spider, it would be not perfect, but it'd be less than it was. And next time it'd be even less. And over a period of probably quite a number of occasions, but their pattern matching, when they saw the trigger, the pattern wouldn't have as much fear associated to it. So eventually it would come to a point where it just wouldn't bother them. Unfortunately, that would be the ideal scenario, but at some point, let's say they woke up in the morning, decided this is what they were going to do, and then later that day they were at a friend's house and a spider scurried across, and the friend saw it and thought, I won't say anything because, you know, John might have a panic attack. But then John sees it and remarks about the spider and goes, oh, get a glass, we'll get rid of it. And the friend thinks that's not how John reacts normally. They'd go, John, why are you reacting so differently than you used to? And John might go, well, I just decided not to let it bother me in the way it used to do in the past any longer. And the friend would go, well, if it's that simple, why didn't you do it sooner, you idiot? Or some reaction that ultimately would end up making John feel bad about having made those changes. So he wouldn't feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for, cherished, and valued. It'd have a negative domino effect and compound things. So to escape that feeling bad, the way to get back to safety, apparent safety, but it isn't, because they're going to end up feeling something's missing. But the way to get back to that is to relapse and go back to the behaviors where they then got attention from people about, oh, don't worry, I'll sort it out. But also it removes that negativity of getting criticized for not having done it sooner. Whereas if they seek out a professional therapist who's got this professional, the more prestigious your reputation appears to be through your advertising in your website, and that's where charging more comes in as well, because the perceived value, you must be better. Being a specialist in a certain area means you must be the expert. If you could create a scenario where they see you and book a session with you, and they are already amplifying that belief that you are the best at helping people to say goodbye forever to their spider phobia, and that they therefore, by booking and making that financial commitment, truly expect it to work because of all the social proof they've seen, testimonial videos from past clients, and press cuttings, and various other elements of marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion you've used to firmly put yourself on the map. So those people think, boom, that person will help me, you know, with this outcome. They can come to your office, come in, and it doesn't really matter that much what important seeming ritualistic process you do, as long as you do something so that the client can buy into it and believe that that was a necessary part of the treatment. Because when they leave, they've now got a kind of invisible force field, an invisible suit of protection against any potential negativity. Because when they don't react the way they used to in the past, and they're now a confident, happy, healthy, relaxed person who feels calm and comfortable should they see a spider, well, when their friends notice this and say what happened, they can't get any blame, because they can say, well, you know what? I would have done it sooner if I'd known about this wonderful expert in overcoming spider phobias. And then I also had to save up the money to go and see them because they're not cheap, because they're such an expert. And I wish I had been able to do it sooner, but I couldn't. But I have done it now, and I'm no longer scared because I've been to the expert. There's nowhere for their friend to go with that, because it's not their friend's fault for not having had the money or not having known about this expert before, perceptively. So they cannot be blamed. So that removes all potential self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret from them for not having got off their arse and done it themselves sooner, and gives them a protection against any criticism for not having done it sooner, which means it creates a scenario where they can do what they always could have done for themselves, but without any potential negative backlash.
That's awesome. Amazing. So, thank you very much for that clarification, and I'm sure it helps a lot of people, Jonathan. And you have created so many protocols of hypnosis. So, could you please brief a bit about that as well?
Yeah, I'll tell you what they are. I'm just going to open my other screen so that I've got a list I can read. I'll tell you what they are. Bear in mind that some of these do have uniquely my kind of approach, protocols connected to them. Some of them are actually just marketing techniques, namely a name, an advertising logo that visually will trigger off potential clients' desire to want to come to you, to believe that you're the right person, so that you get permission to use the logo and the certificate. But some of them are actual processes and scripts as well, or techniques you have to learn and adapt to each client. But yeah, when you join the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, you get access to all the following. Now, I don't expect anyone to ever study all of what's in the bootcamp. The point is, though, I like an approach such as I got with Brian Howard years ago, that you will get what you need to enable you to actually create a successful, profitable business that helps people. As in, you never need to spend another penny with me ever again. I actually give a money back guarantee that you will never need to do that. But anyway, enough of that. The protocols, obviously normal hypnotherapy, but there is my latest one, which I'm doing a live online Zoom course at the start of March this year. That will be the first time that I've issued qualifications and training materials in time transformation therapy and mind hacks to the future. Number 2, complete mind therapy, CMT for short. The proven one-session treatment approach for most all habits, addictions, fears, phobias, and other issues from A through to Z. And it's called complete mind therapy because that's a marketing ploy in itself. It's complete, which implies there's nothing missing, which implies that other therapies are inferior. Complete mind therapy. And the logo for it, you have to look on the on ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, or the links that will be above or below the video. But the logo that says you're a member of the Association of Complete Mind Therapists, the A and the C are in red, and the shape, so when you look at it, ACMT, it looks like a heart. It says Association of Complete Mind Therapists, getting to the heart of your problems. It makes the person feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated. It all ties in with everything I've been saying. All of these do. There's mind emotion liberation techniques, MELT for short. Use these techniques to help your clients melt their problems away, often in a matter of minutes. You'll learn complete unconscious reprogramming of emotional disease and distress, the initials of which is cured. This means you can give your clients the cure to their problem to help ensure they leave your office cured. And if you're in a country like England, where you're not allowed to use the word cure or cured in your advertising as a hypnotherapist or mind therapist, if you can on your website display your certification as a practitioner of complete unconscious reprogramming of emotional disease and distress, and mention that you offer sessions in cured and offer your clients the cure, you can actually use those words in a context and manner that makes it legal and lawful. Seek your own legal advice to do so, because you're just stating a fact. You are not claiming to offer your clients a... So it means that your website ranks higher than other people's because it gets found, because a lot of people do. It's all about marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion. So yeah, cured. Number 5, psychophysioenergetic alignment of changing energies and emotions, which the initials are PEACE, peace. Use these techniques to give your clients peace of mind and also to help ensure that they have inner peace. Number 6, hypnotic override pain elimination, HOPE, hope. Use this to help clients overcome and eliminate pain issues and also to give them hope for a better life. Number 7, inner revision therapy, IRT, a rapid form of hypnoanalysis to find the root cause of long-term emotional issues and then to positively and permanently remove the symptoms and side effects that used to cause the client's issues, and also involves elements of inner child therapy. Number 8, virtual gastric band hypnosis, the complete mind therapy approach. This is the far more affordable and also non-surgical and therefore safer alternative to invasive gastric band weight loss surgery. Number 9, person-centered psychotherapy, PCP. Sounds like a drug. But person, the word person, PERSON, stands for positive emotional responses and switch off negatives. And with all of these, saying it verbally is nowhere near as powerful as seeing the logo, which you can see on the website. When they see the logo, that connects with their unconscious, subconscious mind, imagination, and helps trigger off that, wow, this is the solution for me, and it's powerful response. Number 10, drug release therapy, DRT. But with the logo for this, you'll see the D, the R, the T. The R, the one straight line of it is in one color, and the rest that makes the R is in a different color. So when you look at it, it's not just DRT, but your unconscious sees the word dirt. It's all of these things have been structured to make your success easier. Drug release therapy, DRT, stands for dissolve regrets and resentment, understand guilt and grief, release and reprogram emotional learnings, eliminate anger, anguish, anxiety, and stress that you strengthen and energize positively, which conveniently, as well as using the letters of drug release therapy, also genuinely describes what you do to help somebody get off drugs. Number 11, hypnotic plastic surgery, HPS. The non-invasive alternative to cosmetic surgical procedures to make people feel better about their bodies. Number 12, Advanced Master Practitioner of Clinical Hypnotherapy, which is accredited by the United Kingdom Board of Clinical Hypnotherapy. Number 13, Advanced Master Practitioner in Neurolinguistic Programming, NLP, which is endorsed by the Neurolinguistic Programming Practitioners Association. Number 14, Celebrity Lifestyle Coaching Practitioner, accredited by the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine. Number 15, you get your diplomas in Past Life Regression, PLR, and Future Life Progression, FLP, which we're expanding upon in the March Time Transformation and Mind Hacks for the Future event. Number 16, stage hypnosis and street hypnotism are covered in full. Number 17, you get your levels of Reiki, energy healing, and also your master trainer in Reiki. Number 18, you can earn your advanced practitioner of Sano-Mentology and become a Sano-Mentologist. Number 19, master practitioner of rapid instant change hypnosis, RICH for short, RICH, to help your clients enrich their lives. You see that in all of these, there's almost cheesy sounding marketing taglines, but they work with the logos. When you see the logos, they work even better, especially when targeted to certain target markets of clients. I also teach, controversially, my approach of shitnosis. It's not for everyone, but that would enable you to get your shitnosis, yes, shit, as in poo, shitnosis practitioner, helping you get over shit in your life and get your shit together. Number 21, the Mind Bleach Mental Antivirus. Bleach stands for buried and layered emotions and energies altered, accepted, and cleansed healthily. And it kills 100% of all known negative mind germs. Number 22, the Shithead Protocol. The letters of shithead, SHITHEAD, stand for subconscious human interaction therapy, helping everyone achieve destiny. Number 23, the magic solution, mental acceptance, growth, and internal change. It's waving a psychological magic wand to make your life better, hence the logo involves a magic wand. 24, the SCAT process. SCAT stands for subconsciously charged analytical tapping, enabling you to knock all the negative shit out of yourself. 25, the Fuck That system, FUCKTHAT system. The letters stand for Fully Unconscious Conditioning Knowledge Therapy, Honoring Absolute Transformation. Number 26, you get Shite Lifetime Membership. That's Stage Hypnotist and International Therapist Extraordinaire. As well as gaining access to being able to learn all of these and get qualified in them, all of them are approved, endorsed and accredited by the United Kingdom Board of Clinical Hypnotherapy, UKBCH, Personal Development Associates USA, the Neurolinguistic Programming Practitioners Association, NLPPA, the Royal Institute of Hypnotherapy and Psychotherapy, RIHP, the Mindcare Organisation UK Limited, and the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, IPHM, and a whole bunch of others. And here's the other thing. You will also get at no additional cost lifetime membership, should you wish to join, to the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Psychotherapists, APHP, and the Association of Complete Mind Therapists, the ACMT. And if you're so inclined towards the entertainment side of hypnosis, you can gain lifetime membership, no yearly fees, to the Professional Organisation of Stage Hypnotists, POSH, and the Association of Professional Stage Hypnotists, APSH. There's all of them, plus you can also study and earn qualifications in a whole bunch of complementary and alternative medicine approaches, such as massage, reflexology, meditation, mindfulness. My guaranteed nutshell is this, that if you join the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, firstly, you will get the most affordable in terms of value for money package of stuff in the entire world, because as well as learning these things, there's everything you ever need to know about marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion. You even get press release templates to get yourself media publicity. You get business plans that you can follow step by step with sales letters you can use to break into corporate companies, for example. You get professionally made promotional videos that don't say your name or my name. They don't say anyone's name on. Just it could be perceived as being from you. That all you need to do is use Fiverr.com, as we teach you in the bootcamp, to get someone to put a screen on the end of the video that says contact, your name and website for details. And then it looks like you've got this professional promotional video. There's ones covering all the profitable areas: smoking cessation, weight loss, confidence, stress, anxiety, that you can use on YouTube, Instagram, and all social media platforms. We've got training in all the social media platforms. Basically, it's a business in a box. I hate the cliche, but it is one that I guarantee you will never need to spend another penny on training with anyone, anywhere, ever again in any manner. This is a guarantee, a results-driven, profit-driven guarantee that clearly states, and I quote from the website, we, my company, I guarantee that just so long as you study and follow the advice on marketing, advertising, publicity, and promotion given both during the live Mind Hacks to the Future time transformation event happening at the start of March, or after that, from the recordings of that, together with the stuff that's in the bootcamp, that by way of the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp and the Mind Hacks event, that you are guaranteed to earn at the bare minimum at least 12,000 United States dollars, 12,000 United Kingdom sterling, or 12,000 euros, or 12,000 the equivalent of that kind of money in your country, more, as long as that's achievable, what would be on a par with that. So if you're in a country, you know, where people have less money, it will be on a pro rata basis, but that you will earn that kind of level, that kind of percentage, more bottom line profits after cost and expenses from your mind therapy skills in the 12 months after taking the course than you did in the 12 months before attending the course, or you get 100% of your money back. Nobody anywhere in the world is offering that kind of guarantee. The guarantee is fully laid out in detail on the website, ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, or even easier, is H for Harry, T for trance, G for green, and then the word live, L-I-V-E. So it's htglive.com. That is details of the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. However, for details of the March 2022 Mind Hacks for the Future event, and if you're seeing this video after that time and it's already happened, it will all be recorded and the replays will be available from the link that's below. And by getting the replays of the Mind Hacks for the Future event or attending live, you will automatically get free lifetime membership to the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp. So the cheapest way to get in the bootcamp and never have to spend another penny is to come to the March Mind Hacks for the Future event, a link to which will be below the YouTube video or wherever this video is shared on social media. I'll share it far and wide for you as well. For full legal disclosure purposes, I will state that if you use the link below this video to sign up for the Mind Hacks to the Future Time Transformation event in March 2022, or use that link after the event to get the replays, that link that will be there below the video will be this gentleman's affiliate link that I will have made sure he has got correct before he posts it around. And it will mean, all it will mean to you is that you're helping to support this wonderful gentleman's work. You will still be paying exactly the same low, amazing, once in a lifetime bargain value for money price, which is currently, at the time of this interview, is the bootcamp on its own normally sells for $4,997 United States dollars. And if you bought everything in it individually from all my different websites as different courses or things, it will cost you over 15,000 United States dollars. But as a bootcamp, it's $4,997, although it's on offer to people who watch this for just 497 United States dollars, or to be more precise, it's on offer for 397 United Kingdom pounds, 397 pounds sterling, because that is what it will cost to either attend the Mind Hacks to the Future Time Transformation Therapy event live in March, or to get the recordings, if it's after March 2022, from the link below this video. So even if it's 2023 when you see this video, this link below will take you to a page where you can buy the recordings of the Time Trans event. And if you do that, which will only cost you £397 United Kingdom sterling, I will keep that price until at least Christmas 2023 for the Mind Hacks to the Future recordings, but after that it could rise. And the price of the bootcamp bought from ultimatehypnosiscourse.com or htglive.com directly from me will rise before then. But if you use the link that's below for the Time Hacks, Mind Hacks to the Future Time Transformation event, you will get free bootcamp membership. So all it will cost you until Christmas 2023 is £397 United Kingdom sterling, and a percentage of that as an affiliate payment, thank you, will go to this wonderful gentleman who's one side of me, depending on the way the video ends up going out. But it makes no difference to you. You pay the same. It's just my way of saying thank you for giving this opportunity to people watching this. So karmically, you can do good as well as helping yourself. And yeah, that's the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Jonathan. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you for your time. And
thank you. It's been a pleasure. Please let me know when this goes out. Send me the link. I'll share it around as well. And I've got to jump on a radio interview in 10 minutes time.
Sure.
I'm doing a recording for an interview in Ireland that goes out tomorrow morning. So when I've done that, so in about an hour's time, I will send you through a reminder of, if you've not already done it, how to set up your affiliate link. So you've got the link for going below the video.
Right. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Thank you, everybody. Believe in yourself. You can just decide, you can, as the therapist, you can decide to let go of all your self-blame, shame, guilt, and regret, so that you can start to feel all those positive things and feel whole and loved inside. Because you know what? You can tell a positive white lie. If any of your friends and family suddenly notice that you've started making positive changes and start wondering why you have, and start asking, why didn't you do it sooner if it was that easy? Just tell a little white lie and say, well, it wasn't that easy. I had to go and see an expert therapist in that field. They won't know you haven't. That'll give you the same protection. Good luck, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll speak soon.